Joining us now is OjyOkpe, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Excellent. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning, Oji.
Our fearless woman. Our woman on top.
Ayomide.
She's my Ayomide. Only mine. Her name is not Ayomide, by the way. I call her Ayomide. Only me. Good morning, Rufai. How are you this morning?
Morning, Oji.
Good.
How are you?
Showakpa.
Mowakpa.
I told you to teach me Yoruba. I'm learning by myself.
But it's not a Yoruba speaking channel.
Oh, no, it is. I mean, we are an international channel.
Is that
an uncommon word? Well, all right. Well, let's begin what's trending. In Niger State, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday flagged off the food security and agricultural mechanization program, emphasizing that his administration remains committed to ensuring food security and protecting local industries for sustainable growth. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, the president declared that Nigeria must enhance its capacity to feed its people and have enough for export. He also urged state governors to implement wage awards as an immediate intervention measure to support the federal government's efforts and urged citizens to stop blaming governments of the past or present, but to do their best in re-engineering the finances of the future.
We must care for people. We must rearrange our farming population, including livestock program. I don't see why Nigeria cannot feed all the pupils in our school with 1 pint of milk in a day. If our dairy system is well harnessed as Nigerians, when you read paper, some of us are confused whether to abuse the present or the past or make excuses for the future. Not in my dictionary. Take action now, do your best. Re-engineer the finances of the country and steer it on the right path.
Well, all right. Congratulations to the people of Niger State and to the governor, Umar Bago, who's done an excellent job in, making sure that this agricultural mechanization and technology program, kicked off in his state. I mean, Niger State has, vast arable land, and I love the fact that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that Nigeria should be able to feed itself as well as export. But also, he made some comments there that are quite controversial. He talked about the fact that, Nigerians should not, blame the past or present government. I mean, if you recall, his ministers and people in his cabinet have, blamed the past government. In fact, Umar Bago has talked about the fact that they inherited a bankrupt economy, while Edu blamed, the ways and means of ex-president Muhammadu Buhari. I mean, so I'd like to ask you guys that question, but in the meantime, the governor of Niger State, Umar Bago, who introduced the agricultural machinery for the large-scale agro-value chain development in the state, met with some children who he asked to choose between being a farmer or a governor. Well, here's what they had to say.
Good morning, children. How are you? Good. What do you want to be when you grow up? Farmer or governor? Which one? Governor is a farmer. Cheese. Say cheese. Cheese. You want to become farmer? Yes. You want to become governor? Yes.
I love that video. Of course, it's important to also promote agriculture because, I mean, that is so important for our economy at this point.
I mean, truth has been said, I'm really excited. I have a great thing for children. So when I saw the government interacting with it, oh, goodness me, my heart just melted, But the reaction of those children is a stark reminder that we're losing our country. And I'll tell you how. If you had asked the children this same question many years ago, probably in the 50s or 60s, they'll easily say farmer. You know why? Because then farmers were very critical in our country. You saw successful established farmers. Till today, you're still seeing very successful and very rich farmers. But then they were the toast of the nation. Cocoa farmers alone in the Southwest were a big deal. There are children today that they still inherited those cocoa farms for their children, for their parents, and they're doing well with those farms. Agriculture was the mainstay of the economy. We had the groundnut pyramids and all of that. Most of this top northern powerhouse were traders in commodities that they bought from farmers and food crops. And they did very well. But today, we live in a society where the children have grown up to see that all you just need for all your problems to be solved is to be a governor. Either by hook or crook, be a politician, get in there, get power. Once you grab power, I heard of a certain governor of a state that the first time he saw the amount they paid in state allocation, he ran mad. He almost ran mad. He was like, with joy and excitement, that Jesus Christ, this kind of money, I'm the one controlling it. Yeah. So, and it has also made these our governors mentally lazy. And that's why I'm happy about what Governor Bago is doing, so that the state can start creating wealth. So I'm not surprised that Nigerians are saying they want to be a governor, because all they've seen is that governors living a good life, they see social media, they do all of that. When the real people that they're supposed to emulate are the farmers, the one ensuring that we have food sustainability in the economy, the one that is ensuring that we have food. And I'm happy that the government is trying to write the narrative. Someone was saying the other time that I said they should call him Farmer Bago, not His Excellency. Yes. That's the way to go, because that's the productive sector. Politics is not a productive sector. When we returned to democracy in 1999, it became a sector for all the scoundrels, all the jabajantis, useless people in society that had no job doing. All of a sudden, they became politicians to start getting. And that's why you see that leadership is deficient. I think it was somebody in the National Assembly that once said, I think it was a former police officer that he looked around the National Assembly and said, most of the people that are senators here, they've been in my cell at some point or the other. So all the criminally minded people, that's who we've packed into politics. And that's why we should de-emphasize politics and emphasize more on the critical sector of the economy, like farming, teaching, entrepreneurship, and things that will really move the economy forward.
I mean, there's also need for the protection of farmers and farmland. Yes. I mean, I saw the cover of This Day where President Tinubu had said that, if the governors provide land, he will solve farmer herders clashes in 3 weeks. But, Dr. Vati, before I come to you in the meantime, reactions have trailed the demand of 40 trillion naira by terrorists who kidnapped 16 residents in the Goringora area of Kaduna State. The terrorists also asked for 11 Hilux vans and 150 motorcycles before they can release the 16 people they are holding captive. Let's take some tweets. This is from Odogu, who wrote, for bandits and kidnappers to demand for 40 trillion and 150 brand new motorcycles means they wanted to liquidate Nigeria as a country to form another country of their own. Where can such amount of money come from, even when our budget is 27.5 trillion naira? Wow. Well, Osazu wrote, it is almost 10 years since the Chibok girls were kidnapped, and 100 of the girls are still missing. In March 2024, about 500 people in Borno State, Kaduna State, and Sokoto State have been abducted. Abductions, kidnappings have gone worse. Where is the Nigerian government, Dr. Abati?
Where is the Nigerian government? When we have found ourselves in a situation whereby kidnappers, bandits are so audacious, they are asking for a ransom that is more than the national budget of the entire country. The budget for 2024 as passed is 28.7 trillion naira. Now they are asking for 40 trillion naira. And the impudence of it is even what rankles. Where would they collect that 40 trillion naira from? Or maybe they are just negotiating with the hope that they will get some amount, whatever amount they get. This is the reason why some people have been arguing that some of these bandits and all that, it shouldn't be so difficult to trace them, that they have bank accounts in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only country that we know that people, criminals, bandits, kidnappers, run bank accounts. Despite the know your customer KYC that our banks claim that they do. That's one. They are also asking for 150 motorcycles. Okay, let us even assume that those 150 motorcycles were available. Where would they collect the 150? Where would they take them to? I mean, how do they intend to collect that? And they're asking for 10 Hilux vans. Well, you know, this just shows, as I pointed out earlier on, you know, how hopeless our condition seems to have become, even in the midst of assurances that the government is running a hope agenda. The spokesperson for that community, the Giringora community in Kaduna State, said, well, even if you sell the entire community, you can't get, 40 trillion naira. The challenge of government, seeing this situation in which the people have found themselves, is to pay more attention to security. The people of that community, they said the bandits come through certain routes, forests, bushes surrounding the community. Is there a way government can help them, both the state government and the federal government? The people also say that they were attacked twice in 1 week. 2 persons were killed, 16 were abducted. Twice in 1 week. We have had other cases in that same Kaduna State where bandits will operate on a daily basis for 3-4 days. And there will be no help from the security agencies. So this is just another wake-up call for the authorities about the seriousness of the crisis that we face. As for agriculture, I thought I had those children choosing to become farmers. Right?
I think they were quite confused until after the governor said, you know, a governor is a farmer, because he's a farmer governor, right?
But in any case,
governor this time.
I think they were.
But in any case,
want to become farmer.
that was
We
state
need
managed.
to promote it.
That was state managed for the optics.
Yeah.
If you look at those children, these are children that are still at the nursery level.
Yeah.
You know, at a stage where they're still impressionable. They're dressed in national colors to praise and welcome President Tinubu. So this is good for the photo opportunity purpose that it serves. Yeah. But I think the more important thing is that we have in Niger State a governor who says he has a Niger agenda focusing on agriculture. Yeah. We hope that we have the resources, the courage to sustain it, and that, you know, the relevant agencies will provide security so that the farmers can have access to their farms. Right. President Tinubu was there also supporting the state, saying that this is a bold initiative and asking other states to follow the example. The states to also come together, you know, and have an MOU and explore each other's competitive advantage in the area of agriculture, because indeed it would be a great shame if Nigeria, a country with such vast areas as for agriculture, cannot feed itself. Yes. This country once fed itself. Right. This country once made money from agric. Cocoa House in Ibadan was built by the Awolowo administration with cocoa money. Yeah. Revenue from agriculture. That's why that building is called Cocoa House. I think it's a 25-story building. You know, but today, people find it difficult to even have food to eat. Absolutely. So the green initiative that the government has embarked upon, or was it the green imperative that the Minister of Agriculture called it in Niger State, I think is something that the Tinubu administration must take seriously in terms of ensuring food security and also food self-sufficiency. What do they use? Food sufficiency, yes, you know, in Nigeria.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
Yes.
Well, all right, we'll take another story. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, has come under fire on social media after he was seen in a viral video advertising aircraft in an Airbus facility in France. The minister, in a post on X, also announced that the federal government is engaging with leading aircraft leasing companies in France to facilitate the leasing of Airbus aircraft to Nigeria's private airline operators. Let's take a look at the video before we take some reactions.
This is the factory of the manufacturing giants, aircraft manufacturing giants Airbus, in Toulouse, France. You can't see anything bigger than this. Now look at, this is the aircraft for Nigeria. This is the jack of all trades for Nigeria, the A220 family, right? We have also this, okay, the A220, but this One is the Nigerian aircraft, what you see all the time in Nigeria. Now look at this. This is the mind-blowing one. This is the A350, okay? If you get into these aircraft, you will see heaven on earth. Awesome aircraft. And we are trying to get some of these into the country with our private airline operators. We want to make the conditions conducive enough for the aircraft leasing companies to have faith in us to bring these aircrafts into Nigeria. But this is the major factory of Airbus in Toulouse. Thank you.
Well, all right. Let's take some tweets. Now, this is from Iroha. He wrote, "Well, meet Comrade Festus Keyamo, the new sales manager for Airbus Industries, Toulouse, France. Nigerians are doing wonderful everywhere in the world. Niger to the world." This is from Kalu Aja, who wrote, "Is the Nigerian government going to buy a new Airbus jet? No. Is the Nigerian government going to finance the purchase of an Airbus jet? No. Will Airbus set up a factory or maintenance yard in Nigeria? Possibly. If you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2. Will Airbus set up a training facility in Nigeria? Again, possibly. If you buy more Airbus planes, so back to 1 and 2. So why are you in France with a government-funded entourage?" This is our Minister of Aviation. He's out there in France touring the Airbus facility. Yeah. I mean, I think that, you know, it's such a loud message at this point. I mean, I do admire the initiative because I believe that it is to benefit the Nigerian aviation space if you are going to import. But at this point, aren't we supposed to be having our own manufacturing plants, or even just to have a hangar for maintenance facility? We don't even have that yet. Ayo.
All right, so you're right. You said at this point, shouldn't we have our own manufacturing plants? We're supposed to be celebrating 1-year anniversary of that. If we were to go by the promise made by the previous Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, under the Buhari administration in 2021, he also made a similar visit to Magnus, an airplane manufacturing company, and he said that following that discussions with them, by 2023, that was 2 years after his visit in 2021, Nigeria would start manufacturing aeroplanes. Well, this is 2024, and guess what? The new Minister of Aviation is now going to Airbus to advertise and talk about the benefits. I mean, on one hand, one of the reasons for his visit is to enable, just engender goodwill between companies in France who are makers of the Airbus jet and also Nigerian local players so that we can benefit. However, we are having a conversation that ought to have been had many years ago, when what we should be talking about is investment. We keep talking about the fact that we should, Nigeria is the investors' destination. The fact that we should attract people who would come, and the effect of that, number one, creating more jobs for Nigerians. Number two, FX, the pressure on our FX, being able to locally assemble or locally manufacture. There are many gains from that. But what we saw there is an influencer going to tell us the benefits of Airbus so that we can really be excited. It is the things that they think we ought to be excited about. We are speaking in the future, the conversations that also have been had in the past. So what should we do? Where are we now? Are we now going back to that conversation? We're not impressed by that, unfortunately. Good for us that we're going to get, hopefully, and by the way, there's no agreements yet as to whether that was successful and Airbus would come to some form of, deal with our Nigerian players. But I think beyond that, what we should be looking at is how do we begin to manufacture our own planes? How do we train aeronautics in our universities such that Nigerians can begin to ideate and think of manufacturing our own products that we can export to the world and not looking for more imports from countries who have established themselves and have made a name for themselves because their government invested in the people.
We'll take another story. Civil society groups have trooped out en masse in solidarity for Chioma Okoli, a pregnant mother of 3 children who has been embroiled in a legal battle with the manufacturer of Erisco Foods after posting a review of one of their tomato paste products on Facebook. The group, comprising Enough is Enough Nigeria, Purple Women Foundation, and Women Advocates Research and Documentation Center, began their work tagged "I stand with Chioma Okoli" around 8 a.m. in the Ikeja area of Lagos State. Well, the owner of Erisco Foods, Eric Umurfia, has come under fire in recent times after revealing in an interview with Adesua Giwa Osage that he would rather die than to allow anyone tarnish his image.
This company was established before Chioma was born. Whoever is that Chioma, 40 years ago, I was suffering for this company to establish it. Now, because of the rants, we will allow her to close our company down. I rather close the Risco Food down and fight for my reputation, fight for my brand, fight for my good name before I die. And stubborn with my right, arrogant with my right, I don't no apology for it. And pompous with my right. I must do the right thing. I don't look for trouble. If you come for trouble, I'm ready for you. This she do is trouble. You are sabotaging my company. And it's 7 years imprisonment, 7 million naira, or how many years imprisonment? That 3 years. So why must you go? Because you're a pregnant woman. In prison here, there is a space where you can keep child. There's nothing more that there is where they not mother there. So if you think you can come and bully me to drop my case, I'm not dropping it. I rather die than to allow somebody to tarnish my image. I work 40 years to grow.
All right, this has been quite controversial. And just to note that this is, Women's Month. This is, the month for mothers and women. And, Chioma Okoli is out there. She's pregnant. He also stated in that video that, there are spaces for women in the prison yards as well. But before we take our conversation, this actual march as well, they said that it's in commemoration of Women's Day. So let me take my final story so we can all discuss both. We'll take our final story. Tony Elumelu, chairman of UBA and founder of the Elumelu Foundation on Monday, in commemoration of International Women's Day, announced that his foundation has committed over $40 million in empowering female entrepreneurs in Africa since its inception. In his International Women's Day message, Elumelu stated that women occupy a large percentage of key positions in his foundation, UBA, and Hairs Holdings. The billionaire businessman also noted that he would continue to be a strong advocate for gender inclusion, having witnessed the transformative effect of investing in women. His tweet reads, "I am and will always be a strong advocate for inclusion in every area of life. I have witnessed firsthand the impact of investing in, working with, and learning from women. My first influence was my mother, whose experience as an entrepreneur serves as my initiation into a world where hard work translates to success." Well, here's a video of Tony Elumelu with his mother. That was such a beautiful video. It's gotten over 1 million views. I mean, to all our viewers, I lost my mother about 2 years ago. I'll give anything to be with her today. But, congratulations to Tony Elumelu. Happy Mother's Day. Happy International Women's Day. It's a happy moment for Tony Elumelu, but not such a happy moment for Chioma Okoli.
Yes, and thanks for juxtaposing those two stories. You see what an entrepreneur can do with his influence and power to ensure that he's fostering inclusion and ensuring that women are well represented and that he's giving women an opportunity to fly.
Yes.
If you look at him, he's in the right place to speak, because if you look at his corporations, his group, whether it's from organizations where he's involved in, we have Owen Omoja for Transcore Holdings, we have Dupo Lushola, who have done, and they've excelled in their roles, even with the Tony Elumelu Foundation headed by a woman so excellently. Now, going to Chioma Okoli's story, it's sad that in Women's Month is when Chief Omeofia would make a statement such as, in the prison, there are spaces for women with children. There are corners for them. When we should be seeking in other parts of the world, there are people who are speaking against it, speaking not just for the rights of women, but the rights of children. And then he's saying that a woman like that is intimidating him with 40 years. Look at the person he is intimidating her with his political, his wealth, his financial might. He's intimidating her with his stance. And then, unfortunately, it seems like even our institutions are backing this show of shame.
Absolutely.
He's doing more harm than to his company than Chioma is. So rather than saying Chioma wants to destroy 40 years of work, I want to say that Chief Eric Omeofia, you're the one who is destroying your hard work of 40 years by intimidating and victimizing this woman for giving an honest review of your product.
Absolutely. I know you want to say something.
I mean, I wanted to say something. Please.
We seem to have run out of time.
Okay, we have run out of time, but please, those that are advising this man, they should advise him well. Absolutely. Because this thing degenerated because of wrong advice. I will just leave this word with you. A brand is the voice of the person that is the brand.
Absolutely.
The product is just a souvenir. You see, that word of, I would rather die than to see this.
No.
And there's a place for women in prison that are pregnant. Will dog the Erisco brand for a long time if care is not taken. It's best you settle this now.
In any case, the matter is in court.
Yes.
And Inebe Effiong is the one representing Chioma
Yes.
Okoro. We don't have time.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
to thank
I'd
you.
like to thank you all for your great analysis. I wish we all had time to discuss Chioma. Well, justice for Chioma Okoro. That's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.